Some more Jason here. Well, another live stream. So I see I've got 3 people, but we got any comments in the chat? So obviously today is going to be the chat about 80. So obviously today is going to be the will be chat about the sci-fi movies. So yeah, I mean, 80s was a great decade for us. I mean, we had many great things. We had the greatest toys, I personally believe. We also had the best music, you know. We had all different type of films, you know, not just sci-fi, horror, whole kettle of fish films that we did. And lots of other good things in the 80s. So I thought today we'll have a talk about the 80s films. All right, Keith, hope you're doing, my friend. Hope you're doing, my friend. I mean, hope you're doing well, my friend. And I've got a list. I've got some, because obviously I'm not really professional. I can't think. All right, Mr. B. I can't bring things up on stream, but I've got the better thing. I've got hard copies. All right, Shabby. I'm filler. How many? Oh yeah. Try not to eat too many. Connor. So yeah, I mean, like we all know. All right, Mikhail. The 80s. There were so many good films, but I thought we can't talk all about all the different films, because this might be a series. Obviously, today we're going to talk about sci-fi, and no, we're not going to do. All right, Jeanette. Today it's going to be sci-fi, but next week might be the horror, and so on. So yeah, like I said, I've got a list of the hard stuff, eh? You know, I can't bring pictures up, but at least I can bring some of this up. I mean, there were so many sci-fi films that we had in the 80s that I cannot put them all in one episode. If I did it in one episode, it'd be about 20 hours long, and I think we'll be asleep. I mean, maybe it's an idea for Stu to do a 24-hour live stream of it. Probably not really. So, yeah, you're a nutty babies, Mikhail. So yeah, I mean, like we know, and like I said, we're not talking about Star Wars, but we all know Star Wars was what kicked off a lot of the sci-fi. Even that sci-fi was in before then, it was the big thing that kicked off. But there was lots of other things that was in there. I mean, lots of unknown films that a lot of people don't recognise. And hello, Ador. Nice to see you again. I like giving you some ideas. I was a great movie buff, and I still reckon I could beat Adam on how many films he's watched personally, because I know how many films I watched back in the 80s and 90s and the 2000s, because I was, and I watched quite a lot of videos. I'm going to bring up one I've got in my hand in a minute. I've got paper in front of me. I've got video beside me. And I've not got my sponsored drink either beside me. Pepsi, if you want to sponsor me, mate, it'd be very nice of you. £500 per live episode. Thank you very much. I'll do one every day. So yeah, I don't know how many of you will actually even recognise this film. And this is number 2. I could not find my first one, but I did have both. And this is Mutant number 2. And now let me see if I can get the picture properly. Sadly, taking it round the other way. I'm going to have to work out how to so, yeah, let's say it's Mutant. Basically, I don't know how I can change it so you can get to see the writing instead of being back to front. That I will have to work on. So yeah, I mean, this is one of the rare ones. I don't know how many of you lot's actually even seen this film. So there we are. Shabby's never heard of it, but then look, Shabby, there's a lot of films you haven't even watched either. You know, use a mirror. So yeah. See, that's what I mean. I've watched quite a lot of old ones and rare ones. That's why I keep a lot of things on video, because this has never been released on DVD or Blu-ray. And basically, it was directed. Who was it directed by? I've got it paperwork. It's basically a bit like a chemist fire went off, and basically people turn into zombies, really, but it comes out of space. And it's basically quite a good little movie. I mean, if this is actually out before, so as you can see, it's a sticker. So this was originally before 1984, before we got the silver in. And who was it done by? Yeah, Titbull. I didn't write. No, well, I had to sell it first, so this is probably worth about 30 quid. I did thought I had it written down who was the director, but I slipped up and I haven't. There's two of them actually haven't wrote down the directors. Whoops. Oh well. So that's that one. Well worth a watch. It's 85 minutes long. So yeah. So it's not bad at all. Now I know a lot of you are probably now this I have not got any hard. I can't show you a picture or anything. It's obviously E.T. came out. Yeah, I've still got video players as well, Mikhail. Obviously, E.T. came out in 1982. Mutant, that came out in 84. Like we know, E.T. was done by Spielberg. Obviously done a lot of films, but E.T. was interesting. I actually thought E.T. came out before 1982, but it's not. So I was actually 9 when I went to the cinema to see it. So I remember going with my aunt and family. And again, this is another one I've not got, is The Thing by John Carpenter. Again, 1982. Being remade once, I believe, maybe twice. Yeah, and E.T. was put into the Star Wars universe, that's correct, as a homage to E.T. and E.T. done the same, but Yoda in there. So The Thing's quite interesting film. I believe it's around, I haven't got all the minutes down, and I believe The Thing's about 1 hour and 40 minutes long to 2 hours. And again, they find something in the frozen, in Arctic, if I remember rightly, and they find something, and basically all cartoonish get off. I mean, lots of people die. Hello, Pelts. That's The Thing. Is at the North Pole. Now, here's another one. Now, I've got some hard stuff again. Got some, Now, I don't know how many of you have seen this. The Ice Pirates. Now, again, done in 1984 by the director was Stuart Rafford. He was. Quite a good, interesting little film. And again, I don't know. I believe this has been released on DVD, but I believe not on Blu-ray yet. Again, Shabby, he's seen it. Blimey, Shabby, you surprised me. You ain't seen Back to the Future, but you've seen Ice Pirates. Or is that Stu that ain't seen Back to the Future? So yeah, I mean, again, it is a cracking little movie, and it is classed as sci-fi because it's basically after Earth has been nuclear waste, basically. I mean, that was the era of all the nuclear war films. So, I mean, I know you're not seeing it, Mikhail, Back to the Future. I'll let you off. Then there's another classic film, and I'm not sure how many's seen it. I say it's been remade 3 times, the thing then. Yeah, well, that's cool. Now, it's called They Live. Now, I remember, yeah, Mikhail, we've definitely been on that ride. I remember watching the They Live, or They Live. Don't know how to say that properly. Came out in 1988, so just coming end of the 80s. Again by John Carpenter. Very interesting start to the film. And very thought about, because all you got to think about what's happening now, how we follow things by advertisement and where all the propaganda, obviously a word I can't say properly, was all hidden in the messages and broadcasts and everything. Yeah, I mean, really good idea. Yes. I'll agree with that, Pelts. It is a cracking. I think I've seen it about 3-4 times, and I watched it about 6 months ago, and it's still just as good as I think. Maybe some of the special effects is not that great now, but it's still not bad. Now, this is another film I remember. Now, this was filmed in Britain. Yes, a shocker. A film was actually filmed in Britain called, I thought there was a noise then, called Life Force. And Life Force, oh my god. Vampires from space. Now, the director, did I say year? Not sure, but I'll say it again if I hadn't. Came out in 1985. Director was Toby Hooper, or Hopper? Hooper? One of them two, anyway. And yeah, the storyline is they basically see this ship come out of a comet. Now, if I remember right, it's Halley's Comet. And there's a spaceship on the back of it. They go out, they find a human person frozen. They bring it back to Britain, because we had a space program. Well, they hoped, and all cartilage release. And if you've not seen Life Force, go and watch it, because the main star of it, the vampiress, oh my god, she is, pretty. I used to have the DVD of it, but I haven't now. I need to get it. It is available on Blu-ray. But yeah, I mean, and I watched it again. I do believe it actually might be available on YouTube. So check it out and see if it is available to watch. It's definitely worth watching. Some of it might be cut if it's on YouTube. So have a little look. Now, again, because I'm going to do a couple that I haven't got hardware and some, and I'll show you on stuff. Now, how many members Critters? Basically, the Gremlins knockoffs. So, Critters, I did 1, 2, 5, if I remember rightly. First one came out in 1986 by, because my book's just there. And there he is. Connor, you've seen it. Yeah, cracking good little movie. by Stephen Herrick. Can't say the name properly. Herek, the surname is. And yeah, I mean, yeah, if you've seen Goonies, not Goonies, what was the one where they go down the bog? I ain't got the cartoon yet, mate. Hang on, Mikhail. What? No, don't rush. That's on my list. And I'm not surprised, Shabby. Yeah, it's very much like the early ones, like on the same wave, like the Gremlins, and I can't think of the one. I think they're called Ghouls or something. Where the main, yeah, thank you, Palps. That's the one. So they was doing all them, same as the Leprechaun. So yeah, and the Critters are. It's well worth the hour and a half to hour and 45 minutes watch. You know, if you like seeing 80s glory, and it's not that glory I personally think, but yeah, it's well worth watching. It is. Oh, we nearly lost them, but we're back again. Don't know why we lost it then. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen this one. Now, it's Hypo... Oh yeah, I'm terrible at names, ain't I? People from Another Star. Now, I did have this written down. Where are you? Come on. Come on, where are you? Here we are. 1986. This was. Sorry about the glare. Let's see if I can sort this out. And so this came out in 1986. The director was Peter R. Hunt. No, not the C-U-N-T one. Yeah, it's good little. Now, no, it's a U one, so you know, it's no horror really in it. They rate it a little bit like E.T. type of a film. It's worth a little watch. So yeah, it's a good little movie to watch in this day. Personally now, it's probably really showing its age. It is. And could it be done with remake? I hope not. Because sometimes, you know, only thing I would like to do, if they did do it, is actually upgrade the graphics. It's just get the original film and just upgrade the graphics. But then will that spoil it? Who knows? Yeah, more likely, Mikhail. Now, I'm talking about. Now, no one. I'm going back to. No one here. I've really talked about the Critters, and I said about the member family. Well, here we are. Gremlins. Now, apparently they class it as a sci-fi. I'm not too sure. I think it's more of a horror. And again, it's done by Steven Spielberg. So, and obviously they've done one or two of them. And I believe they might be filming 3 now, but then that could be just pipe dreams and false animation. So I'm not sure if this is, and it's also directed by Joe Dante. So, all right, but yeah, I think it had 2 directors. They got Steven Spielberg Presents, and directed by Joe Dante. Yeah, and yeah, Gremlins does get dark. Especially the microwave scene. The microwave scene is pretty glory, really. Pretty glory. Now, again, we'll go to another. No, we'll do one I haven't got any thing for. Now, how many have seen The Hidden? Now, it's a book first, done by Now I'm going to butcher the author's name to apologise. And yes, we did get a lot of merch for the Gremlins. And some of this year we did get a lot of merch, and some of it nothing. And the author's name for the hidden is Dean or Des Kearns, great horror writer. So I remember them. There's 2 books done by him. There's Hidden 1 and Hidden 2. And I do believe they've done 2 films, but I believe they went straight to TV videos. So you've seen perhaps you've seen it then. Done in 1987. And the director was Jack. I'm going to butcher his name. Sholder, Sholder. I mean, it's about. Not sure. I might be. That's the only thing I can think of is the Pelts. Is the Pips. And Hidden's got, it's all about this dog that's been experimented on, and I believe in the film and in the book it is I can't remember the breed. Oh, what's the breed? It's not a Lassie type. Nah, can't remember. But yeah, and he's basically getting chased by another creature, and yeah, it is a really interesting. The books, I don't know. Might see if we can find some at the toy fair. The book again, when it comes from books, they miss so much out in the film. So, but the film is still a good little film to watch. So well worth seeing. Now, I did have the... Alright, Terry. I did have the DVDs for these next 2 films I'm going to talk about. Sadly, I can't find them. I may have cleared them out. I'm sure I didn't. I'm sure I had the box set. And that is Alien and Aliens. Now, Alien technically is 1979. But it's literally on the border of the 80s, and it is really a film we would have watched in the 80s, because time it got released on video or put on TV, it definitely would be the 80s. So I'm letting its little slip. The director was by Ridley Scott, and one of the taglines, if you remember, was "They cannot hear you scream in space," or something along that lines. And yeah, I gotta admit, it's a good film to see, and it leads on to another 4, if I remember rightly, then some spin-offs, some pre's and some whatever. But the next one was Aliens. Now the director was James Camden, who, like we know, Mikhail would know this director because he directed Titanic. He did, which Mikhail would know very well because he's a big. There we are, Titanic. And yeah, so. And I've got to admit, there was 2 versions of Aliens. And there was the movie version. Yeah, basically the theatre version, what we all saw. And then the uncut version. Now, I believe the uncut version is the better out of the 2. You get to see what was for they all got killed. This colony, settlement, whatever you want to call it, on this planet, and you get to see what their life was, how they find the alien in the, and you basically get a little bit storyline what he done in the theatre version. And it's what I do think Aliens is the best one. I believe that one, Mikhail, might be the 90s or very late 80s. I do. But yeah, I mean, it was one of the best sci-fi / horror films. There was also, I don't know where else, up London in the 90s, there was a Aliens experience where you went. Sadly, I never got to do it. Same as the Star Trek one, I never got to do that either when it was up London. You went up to London and you experienced aliens in this walkthrough. A bit like Haunted Mansion or them tower where you walk through and you got things attacking you, like clowns and stuff. I can't think what they're called. Haunted houses and things like that. It's really good. I've seen pictures online, and yeah, I mean, So yeah, right. Oh, you did it, did you, Palps? Oh, you lucky son of a. I really want to do it. I did, but I never got time to do it, and there was quite some years I weren't going to London. I was doing other things. You know what it's life is like, and yeah, sadly I never got to do it. But I've seen some videos of it. It did look pretty good, and we did get a lot of merch, and we still get merch or merchandise for Aliens. Cool. Now, this one, I've got hardware. Now, I don't know how many you've seen this film. And I have got it written down. I was going to print off some sheets. Sadly, I basically had a cheat list of all the films instead of writing it all down. Sadly, for some reason, it all kept on coming out as error codes. Swines. So I don't know how many you've seen Cherry 2000. Now I've got this written down here. There we are. Now Cherry 2000. As you can see, it's on DVD. Done in 1987. And the director was Steve Jacket. Basically, now Si would have liked this film because it's a android that's a doll. I won't say no more, but you know what I'm talking about. Basically, it's a ESX doll that goes wrong, and the person has fallen in love with this doll, and he wants to look for a replacement. And the only thing, and these have been outlawed, and the only way they're going to go and find spare parts was in the Badlands or something like that, or the outlawed sections. Yeah, very much so, mate. So this came out in 1987, and it is worth a little watching. I mean, and Si would probably, he may have not even watched it, but it's got Menon Griffin in it and Jen Johnson. Pardon me. It's well worth giving it a little watch. So that's that one. Now, Another hard one. Now, let me see. I found it. Now, this one. Yeah, very much so. This is the Cyber Zone. This came out in 83. Director was David A. Pryor. Now, Pryor didn't really do many films. He was known for more for theatre plays, and he did one other film, but not sci-fi. So yeah, and it's well worth literally 83 this came out of. No, that's what I mean, Shabby. These are rare films that people have never seen of. They've never been released on DVD or videos. So literally, again, nuclear war in the 80s, they was all scared. One of his biggest films was back in the day, and quite a lot was nuclear war films. Mad Max and all the types they were. This is one of the, what you call spin-offs, rip-offs or whatever of the Mad Max lines and all the nuclear war films that was going to be out, because they thought we wasn't going to make the 80s. They thought we weren't going to make the 90s because a button was pressed. But it's, yeah, well worth giving. I have not seen this now for a good 20 years. I remember watching it. I think I've watched it twice. Is it any good? Honestly, I can't remember. But it's well worth giving it a rewatch. Because some of the nuclear war films, they get a bit, Oh yeah, you've got one in the list, Terry. That's one of the last ones I've written down, actually. The one you just mentioned. Got a famous actor in that film. But yeah. Still okay as well. Yeah, there we are, B. Yeah, a lot of these films came out straight on home video because, like we all know, 80s video boom lit up. And suddenly they realised, oh, we can watch, and a lot of films get straight, instead of coming straight to the cinema, they went straight to home video. I mean, there was even some videos back in the day called home video. So like we know, cool, I think I might get these glasses fixed. Bear with me. Now, has Terry just brought one up? Although I have written down, it's actually one of the last films I found today, and that is A Galaxy of Terror. Now, done in 1981 by B.D. Clark. Sounds like a shoe brand. And starring one of the actors, I believe at that time, he was not known for his famous role. And Shabby, you should know this actor because you ripped the poster off the wall. You did. Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger, Robert Englund. Also, B. So yeah, he was in that. It's, again, Galaxy of Terror. They see it as a bit of rip-off from Alien, and I suppose a couple other films back in the day. And literally, I was watching it an hour ago, and yeah, it's okay-ish. But yeah, right, we go to another hard one. Now, this really tells you how long ago this was. Now, some of you might remember it, and some of you may not have even heard of it. Shabby, you probably never heard of it. And that is Star Crystal. Star Crystal came out in 1986. The director was Lawrence Lessing. See? Yep, I said you'd never heard of it. And like I said, literally 86 first came out, but obviously they're still trying to get the beta out. And basically, again, it's similar to basically they think it's a bit similar to Aliens. So again, it's like the rip-off line of like when they do disaster films, big disaster film, there's always the cheap knockoffs of the same type of films from other ones. And yeah, it's 97 minutes long, so you can say 95 minutes. Is it worth a watch now? If you're not seeing it, I would say yeah, give it a little watch, but probably one you could live without ever seeing personally. I think I've seen it once, and once is enough. Maybe twice, because I bought the video off my ex-rental company many years ago. So yeah, so it's that one. Now, I'm going to talk about another one that you've probably never heard of, and I'm probably going to butcher his name. And that is Extron. And next time I'll try and get my book right underneath here. And XTRO, basically another name for aliens, basically. Came out in 1982. And it's done by, actually, I have got it, haven't I? No, I haven't. I haven't got it. Done by Harry Bromley Davenport. That sounds really British name, doesn't it? Again, it's one of them Earth type disaster space films where something lands, or I remember seeing, and I really thought I had it. No, it's a mutant down there. Yeah. So yeah, what's that? Yes, I have, Terry, actually. I have got that one. I have. They did two of them, by the way. And no, I haven't actually got it in my list. Not my hard stuff, anyway. Hey. So yeah. Now, another one that you probably, some of you have never seen it. And this came out, where are you? I wrote it down, there we are. This came out of the border of the 80s, literally coming into the 90s, 1989. And that's Future Force. Done by David A. Pryor, again. Now, he definitely done a couple of films. I did at one point. I haven't now. Done by the martial art guy who was in what was his films that he was named for? Wait, oh, there he is. David Carradine. Oh, I can't say his name. Carradine. He was known for a lot of the martial arts films. Yeah, it is worth giving a little watch. Come through, thank you. Yeah, and you probably, some people may have never seen this, and it is worth a little watch. It is. Say you're bored for an hour and a half, pop it on. I've got because then it basically it's cops, but they're not cops. They're not bus drivers either, but I bet they drive a bus in it. I mean, come on, what film didn't have buses in? Oh yeah, Escape from New York, LA, really good films. So yeah, I mean, then we go back to ones I haven't got any hard stuff for. And that is now, for some reason, I can't find my DVD of it, so I should have had it, but for some reason I haven't. And that's a good film, by the way, Adore. And they're doing a remake of that at the moment. It's Enemy Mine. And I do believe I've got that written on my list down here somewhere. No, I haven't. And that is Terminator. 1984 came out. Again, done by James Cameron, who obviously we know, did Titanic and other films. And now Terminator films, again, really good. I mean, I personally think number 2 is the best, and I do believe Terminator films should now be ended, because I think it's more confusing than the X-Men, because what timeline are they in now? Because it is so confusing now with the Terminators. But I would say Terminator and Terminator 2, but I haven't got Terminator 2 written down. I've just got the first one. That's 1984. And I wouldn't be surprised if Terminator 2 came out around the late 80s. Obviously, all the Terminators, apart from one, starred, I was about to say Shabby then. What's his name? Oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah. Yeah. He needs to retire from, And yeah, I mean, they're good little films. Alright, Des and Mrs. T. And yeah, they really are. They're still worth a watch, the Terminators. Some of them are. Now, I remember going to the premiere for number 3. Well, I stand outside with all the other nutters. Oh yeah, I agree with that, Mikhail. They are money grab these days. Sadly, a lot of them are now. Now, one film I didn't put on my list, Star Trek. And I'm not talking the first one, the motion picture. Technically, I could, because that came out in 1979, because I had put Alien in it. That came out in 1979. And I do believe Star Trek, the motion picture, came out in 78 or 79. But I'm not going to talk about the motion picture. I'm going to talk about the greatest Star Trek film going out of them all, apart from the Unkind Country. And that is the Wrath of Khan. Now, I do believe, I haven't got it written down, for some reason I missed it off my list. I believe Wrath of Khan was done in 84. I believe 84, 86, something like that. Again, I was looking for my DVDs, but I couldn't find it because I've got so much in there. I need to catalyze them all now. And sadly, now I'm going to give you spoilers if you still haven't seen Star Trek, the Wrath of Khan. Yes, they did movies. That's right, Mikhail. Yes, they did. Now I'm going to give you spoilers. If you haven't seen Wrath of Khan, put your earmuffs on so you can't hear this next one. Spock dies. Alright, he dies. But don't worry. He's not dead for long. Like any Star Trek films, or if you've seen Star Trek, no one's ever dead for long, are they? How many times did Spock? How many times did Scotty used to die in the TV show? I know, spoiler alert. See? So yeah. It is. The Wrath of Khan is the best one. I see. Oh, there we are. Thank you, Pelts. So yeah, Spiritual Response 84, Voyage of Home was 86, and Final Frontier was 89. So they did most of them. So yeah, I mean, Voyage Home was an interesting film. I know it's not liked by a lot of people, but I will agree with a lot of people. The final footage, that's terrible. But I do believe there was the reason why that film's bad, and that is because there was writer's strike. Amazing, writers always going on strike. No, Star Trek, Mikkel. Star Trek. And the last Star Wars film. Oh, I'm getting to that one in a minute. Adore. So we'll be talking about that one in a minute. And yeah, really were watching some of them, but some of them not. It's normally people rated it 2, 4, and 6 are the best ones. So Wrath of Khan, Voyage Home, and Undiscovered Country was the best movies out of them. But really, for Wrath of Khan, you gotta add Search for Spock as well. Because they're directed by, if I remember rightly, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and Voyage Home are all directed by what's it? Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy. And they do sort of like carry the story along, even though each one ends, but they still sort of like, you can watch them separately, but it's worth watching. Otherwise, you don't know what's going to happen. Say you watch number 2, then you watch number 4, you'd be like, hey, Spock's alive. Eh? So yeah. Every time I have a drink, I have a drink. So yeah, now it has been mentioned, and yes, I've got it in my hand, one of the films. Now I do believe they are doing a number 2. Virtually no merchandise. 3 and 4. Cool. I've got, yeah, that's on my list, Terry. That is. And, like I said, Last Starfighter, cracking film. I probably sound, this is, at the time I bought this was not available in the UK. I do believe it's now available on Blu-ray. Virtually, if I remember right, there's virtually no merchandise for this at all, I believe. I do believe there's some now by customs, and I think now, if I'm right, I believe there's some done by Reaction Figures, or I could be totally wrong. Yes, Dark Crystal is 80s, if I remember rightly, and so yeah, and it is worth watching. And I do know there's somebody trying to do the toy for this. Oh yeah, the Cat from Outer Space. Yeah, that's a cracking good film. But Terry, is it 80s? So yeah, if you've not seen The Last Starfighter, if it's 78, 79, we'll class it 80s, Terry, right? And it's worth a watch. It really is. It's about a trailer park. This kid comes from a trailer park. He plays arcade machine. Pardon me. Don't know if you heard that. If you didn't, that's good. Maybe I should stop drinking as well. He pays for the arcade machine. He finally wins the top prize. And he's kidnapped to go and fight in a space battle. Yeah. Yeah. Well, at least you're not playing a competition. So yeah, it's well worth watching. But I did say we're not talking about Star Wars, Des. So I could put Star Trek in, so you know. But if you're talking about technically a lot of the 79s and 78s, we got to watch in the 80s, so we can a little bit let them in. Little raw escaping. But yeah, well worth watching. Now, Terry brought up a good film, and I have got it down on my list. Battle Beyond the Stars. And done in literally on the border of the 80s. Literally 1980. And done by Jimmy T. There's no way on earth I'm going to say his living surname. Murak? I'll spell it for you. Murakami. See, I've never tell you, I can never spell it. Yeah, basically, it's a Magnificent Seven out of space. Now, Shabby, you've probably not seen this film. If you have, then so it is worth watching. And to tell you the truth, Battle Beyond the Stars, even now, is a good film to watch. Yeah, that's a good one. I have got that in my list, by the way. And yeah, there's a lot of the 70s films was released on TV in the 80s, as we saw. So again, I'm going to another heart now. Mikhail talked about this one earlier in the chat, and that is Cocoon. Now, I remember going to see this in the cinema. I should have this written down on my list. Where are you? Where are you? Come on. You. Where are you? Well, I've done at some point in the 80s. And knowing my luck, I probably missed it off because the printer was not working. Well, the email wasn't working. And it's a good little film. Now, Cocoon did only 2. I'll still say this is the best. Now, who was the 2? It's 117 minutes long, so let's say 2 hours, shall we? Who is it? Well, it's got some great actors in it, I will say that. And it's a great little film. It's about... oh, yeah, they do have some good soundtracks. I mean, we're getting on now. We're 50. Most of us are. Apart from my little brother. He's still a young chicken. I got to admit, they find these cocoons and they found if they go swimming in it, they get younger. And Des, I agree with you, I have not seen it as well for at least 15 years. Because I probably not even I bought it on DVD from CEX probably about 5 years ago. I don't believe I've even watched it. I did watch it when it came on cinema, and I had it on video at one point. I gotta admit, don't we all want to get young again? Yeah. Be nice, wouldn't it? Look like we did 20 years ago. No, I remember how big I was 20 years ago. No, I don't want to look like. If I look a nice, slim version of me 20 years ago, with yeah. Oh, by the way, you can get merchandise as well from my channel. No, you can't yet. So yeah, real worth watching. It is. So yeah. Yeah, I've got that one that is on my listing down here. The hard stuff. Now, another film. I'm going to show you another one. Now, you probably have never seen it. And some of you may have, because these are the ones that are like, you know. And it's my science project. So, so did I do that? Oh, we always dye our hair. Last time I dyed my hair, blimey, it didn't go right. That is my science project. Now, I don't know how many of you have ever seen my science project, but I remember watching this. I've got this written down the year. The problem is when you've got about 60 films written down, where are you? Come on. Yeah, I'll probably find you at some point. But yeah, it's well worth watching. Let's have a look. Bear with me one moment. I may have missed it off. Yeah, looks like I missed it off. Yeah, somehow I missed it off. I did. But usually I do believe it's about 84, 86 this came out of. And you basically know in America, in the desert countries, they got all the military aircraft and civil aircraft still stored. He finds this alien weapon engine if I remember rightly, not weapon, and it plugs it in and it does a time warp ish, and it's well worth watching. I've seen this probably 4 or 5 times over the years, and it's still a good little watch. Is the graphics still good? Some is, some isn't. There is a dinosaur in it, and that's ropey as hell, if I remember rightly. It's quite bad. So yeah. So that's my side project. Now I'm going back to the films I haven't got any hard stuff for. How many of you remember Short Circuit? Came out in 1986, done by John Badman. Not really. Bad Ham, actually. But as soon as I saw it had Bad Ham, I have to say Badman. Because we all know about Badman, don't we? Apart from my brother Mick. And maybe a couple others. Johnny Five, great little film. They did 2 of them, Short Circuit and Short Circuit 2. Number 5 is alive. There is some merchandise for it, not a lot. You can get customs of Johnny Five in Lego, because I've seen the plans for it, and so far still haven't bought one to build. And I've got to admit, they don't look bad, but it's a good little film, and it's still worth a watch even now. Because I did actually watch it about a year ago. Cool. Maybe I should stop drinking Pepsi Diet. Give me the books. Now, another film that I remember, I don't know how many of you remember it, called, there's 2, Mikhail. Short Circuit 1 and Short Circuit 2, which I have got on DVD, but I need to sort out all my DVDs in categories like I used to. I used to do everything in categories: sci-fi, horror, drama, war, da. If you can't guess, I talk with my hands. Quite badly. Yeah, Short Circuit. It's a good film, and it is a Turing film. But, good film, Time Bandits. but I don't think I'm not sure if it's classed as a sci-fi. Yeah, I'll class it as sci-fi. But, the other film that I want to talk about, there's a lot of films I want to talk about, but another film I'm going down on the list so I don't get too confused. When I pick ones up, I get confused, don't I? It's Daryl. Now, when it was written, it was basically Daryl, but it stood for a name. So it was D. A. R. Y. L. Basically, it was a longer name, and basically artificial computer, but in a human person, if I remember rightly, or something. A film I haven't seen for quite some time, and I haven't got it down there. That's all right, APT. It is a good little film. Now, that's Flight of the Navigator. I was about to say, did he go back in time? But he didn't. That's Flight of the Navigator. What we'll come to in a second, we will. We'll do that one next. We will, actually, so I remember it. You got Daryl, and then you've got another classic. Now, I've got the original price on this video. Now, this is how much videos used to cost when they were new back in the day. And that is Flight in an Elevator. And that was, because this is X rental, at £75. £75 for a video. I mean, truth is, this is probably worth nothing now, because it is available on DVD and Blu-ray. But X rentals, you can't beat some class. I mean, this is the first time it got released on video. I mean, it's an X rental job. I mean, I have got this written down. I do know that. Where are you, little bugger? Come on. Oh, I found the last Starfighter now. It came out in '84, by the way. And the director was Nick Castle. Come on, where are you? There we are. '86. It came out of, and the director, I got no chance of saying his name. Yeah. I believe because it was going on to rental companies, so they was earning money. That's why they used to spend, it cost a lot of money. But you also got to remember, Des, video players was £300 to £400 to buy brand new back in the day. The rental market for the was so ridiculous. So yeah, it's well worth a watch. I mean, the kid goes missing for 8 years, and yeah, it is a really good film to watch. It's a classic 80s film that most people will watch. Shabby, if he's still here, he will know. He probably not. If you have watched it, Shabby, let us know. I will be very shocked. But yeah, it is a good film. Oh, you got a rental version of Explorers. Nice one, Terry. Yeah, I suppose because the rental market was big in the day, wasn't it? Because they was everywhere. I mean, I think there probably was about 5 rental shops. And yeah, they probably did have better take because they knew it would be watched over and over again. Like we know, if you're a Blockbusters person or you work for them, and no, I didn't, but I know there's some people have in the chat, or I know there's people in that we know that had work. Used to have it written on their tapes, be kind to rewind. But that was the biggest pain about videos, wasn't it? But it was the best thing about it, because you stopped it halfway through. You've seen it? Blimey! shabby. Hang on. Oh, I'm sitting down. That's good. I'm sitting down. Oh yeah, Pee-wee. That's right, it does. And I do believe it was mentioned not that long ago on another live stream of Nick's about Pee-wee, and he voiced it in his. And it is a good watch. And I'll say, if you've not seen it, give it a watch. It is worth watching. Right. Now, I haven't got it down here. That's it. This film, now, I thought it's boring when it came out, and some people might hate me still saying this, but I still think it's boring even now, and that is Blade Runner. Blade Runner came out in 1982. Ridley Scott directed it, and I think it's about a 2-hour long film. It is quite slow. Then obviously they did Blade Runner 2. Was very much, right, they did a rebeat, didn't they? See, I found it really slow, Mr. B. I mean, Harrison Ford, great actor. I did like the reissue one. But I think, I have watched it more than once. And when I saw it the first time I was a kid, I thought it was slow. When I watched it again not that long ago, it's not as slow as I thought, but it's still not the fastest one going. It's got more suspense in it has. Now, another one I'm going to do, I'm going to do another one of my lists that I've got no hard stuff for. And that is a lot of us have seen, and also, yes, I know. Yeah, they had a chance to buy Netflix and they didn't. You missed out, Blockbusters. Now, how many of you actually remember Netflix when they used to send you DVDs through the post? Here's Back to the Future. Came out in 1985 by Robert. There's no way on earth I can say his name. No way. Sacrus? Yeah. Definitely can't say his name. And yeah, I mean, they've done 3 Back to the Futures. They've done a theatre play. And like we know, it was also a friend of ours, good film that he really liked. Sadly not with us no more. Released it not long ago. Oh, my glasses keep slipping. That have just done the smaller version of the Lego vehicle of the DeLorean. It is. I mean, Back to the Future are good films. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is technically a TV series. And yes, you are right. It is out of date now because technically, I believe it was 2015 it came to, and it's not 2015 no more. Now we're going to talk about this one, Kroll. Now, I don't think I've got this written down. I'm pretty certain. Probably write things down and then you can't find the buggers. No, I can't see it there. Now, came out, I think, about... Did I? Come on. I'm sure I've written down. Well, I know I had it on that printout. Probably the reason why I didn't write it down. No, can't see you. Sometimes my writing's terrible as well. Now, it's a bit of a slash between sci-fi and fantasy, I would say, because the weapons are a bit like the flying phasers. So this to me is a sci-fi fantasy job. Uh, um, I have watched this not that long ago, and it is still a good film. And there was rumours they were going to remake this. I'm hoping they're not. But if they ever was to do anything with it, I would like them to update the graphics of the original. But then would they ruin it? So yeah. I mean, it's a good film to watch. So yeah, really good film to watch. Right, we go back to my list of ones that I haven't got the hard stuff for. And that is, how many of you have seen Flash Gordon? I agree with that, perhaps. Thank you much, Abby, and enjoy your dinner, my friends. I know it's only 5 o'clock there. And you got Flash Gordon, came out in 1980. And yeah, the music is brilliant. The guy who plays Flash, I've met him. He's not a bad chap. But you got to admit, the Hulkman is really, I can't remember the name of it, Gordon's Live. Oh yeah, very much. Now I would like to know, Flash Gordon, anybody who know about Flash Gordon, came out quite early on. There's actually a TV series of it in black and white, and I do believe that's in the 60s. And I do believe they're available on some channel at the moment. I did see some advertisement for it. But the Flash Gordon, the film, the music, the last space battle scene, if you've not seen it, go and watch it. It's well worth it. Now, I was still like by the NECA figures of Flash and Ming. I'm sure the only two they've done is Ming and Flash. And I don't think they would ever do any more, sadly. I used to watch, Mr. B used to watch the black and white version. So did I, actually. They used to be on reruns back in the day. And I do remember the reruns. I do. So, yeah, I mean, Clash of Titans isn't really a fantasy one. That's why that's not on my list at the moment. But I'm going to do another one of my ones. I haven't got any, I haven't got anything for it. And that is Batteries Not Included. Came out in 1987 by Matthew Robbins. I'm sure it's Robbins. Yeah, I remember the Flash Gordon cartoon as well, by the way. Connor. Good show. And also did with other people as well. Now, Batteries Not Included. I mean, really good film to watch. Classic 80s sci-fi film. And still worth a watch even now. I mean, I do believe, Mikkel, Batteries Not Included was actually one of Mum's favourite films she used to like back in the day, but I don't remember if you and Mum ever watched it at all. But I do remember Mum did used to really like it back in the day. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's what you call 80s classic sci-fi film, and the gen that we had back in the day with it being on Earth, sci-fi, yeah, brilliant. And if I remember right, I saw some what they call when they talk about it now. the scene of the diner when it gets smashed to bits. When you see it being repaired, it's basically they rewind the tape back on. So basically you're watching it on the rewind. So when you're seeing it being destroyed, you're just seeing it being, and it's rewinding the tape back, making it like it's been mint. That you just wouldn't realise. Pardon me. Now, another film I haven't got any hard. I know I had this on video, but I can't find it. So, it's probably popped up somewhere. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen this film. Again, one of them films a lot of people may have not seen, and some you may have not seen. Because I was a big sci-fi nerd. That is why I've always been into sci-fi. Now, Space Hunter's Adventure in the Forbidden Zone. Now, I don't know if they're planning to do more films back in the day, because that in the, you know, if you read the title, Space Hunters, then Adventure in the Forbidden Zone, that screams, oh, we're going to do more than one film. But to my knowledge, they didn't. So, probably the film flopped. It did. Perhaps you've seen it. And director was surname Johnson anyway, L. Johnson, and it is a good little film. And I did watch part of it on YouTube. That is available on YouTube to watch, by the way, for free. It's worth watching. Again, it's one of them sci-fi horrors, that you watch back and you go, but has it seen its day sometimes? A little bit. But it's still a good watch. I mean, if you enjoy classic Doctor Who with its really bad special effects and really early Star Trek with the people holding the doors behind the scenes, then you can still enjoy a lot of these sci-fi films, because sometimes it is. Now, I didn't do the times minutes, but another one that I'm now going to go to hard stuff for. Now, I don't know how many you've seen this, and that is City Limits. Now, came out in 1984. The director, I've got Aaron Lipston. Aaron Lipston? I'm pretty certain that's how they say his name. Aaron Lipston. Basically, a disease has gone through the planet. Things have happened, and they're just retaking. Basically, they're getting captured. They're basic scans. And if I remember rightly, there's a scene in City Limits that is they used all these remote-controlled airplanes that they managed to work and put machine guns in and bombs in. Classic film, Willow, but more a sci-fi, more fancy Willow is, I would say. But City Limits, really good watch. I remember watching this actually on this copy from my rental guy back in this day. We used to have a rental guys come around called Darwin Video. You used to ring him up, you had a catalogue, you say, can I order 849? Say that, Nick. And it is worth a little watch. I've seen it about, I can't tell you how many amount of times, but yeah. It's starring James Earl Jones and Robert Benston, but he's but yeah, real worth a watch. Now, I'm gonna go back to ones that I've not got hard stuff for, and now I'm gonna butcher this and say him. Me'elam, not Millen Falcon. Me'elam, and like Stu, he has problems saying it. So do I. Basically, Millennium Falcon, but Millennium. And it came out in 1989. Director is Michael Allison. Now, the storyline was basically people from the future was coming to the present and taking people from planes that was about to crash and take them off and putting dummies on. Something happens and somebody from now time finds something from the future, and it is worth a watch. And I nearly get it back on video. I do know it's on DVD. Inner Space is another good film, and it's one that I finally realised there was Safeways in America, because at the time Safeways was UK, and I did not realise Safeways was also American back in the day. So yeah, Inner Space is a really good film. Now, if I remember right, Inner Space had Patrick Swayze in it, if I remember rightly. I could be wrong, but I haven't got it written down. Like I said, if I put down every film down, I'll be a 24-hour long stream just talking about sci-fi films. Now, Moontrap. How many of you have ever seen Moontrap? I'm not talking about Moonfall. I'm talking about Moontrap. This came out in '89. Director was Robert Dyke. What a name. Bear with me. Basically, they find some aliens, and they find that Atlantis was real, but it was never on Earth. It was actually on the moon. And there isn't actually another film. If you ever look at the title for it, it's called The Dark Side of the Moon. And it's got nothing to do with this, by the way. But it just read my brain. And they find this alien spaceship drifting in space. The space shuttle goes up. This is before the original space shuttle was even launched, if I remember rightly. What date did I say? Moontrap, 89. No, I'm sure space shuttle was already invented before 89. Pretty certain. You want a can of pop, do you, Connor? Don't worry, I'm meeting you in a couple of weeks' time, mate. I'll bring one for you. Should be great. I'm not having some chocolate bars as well. And yeah, and basically this creature basically killed Atlantis off. And like you know, all these films, it's never dead, is it? Fine, they find one again, it's a bit like Life Force, they find one person still alive in a cocoon, a whatever device, and they revive her. Now, Star Trek guys in this, Walter Croner, and I've definitely butchered his name. Original name for Star Trek was Chekhov, and he starred in this. Yeah, it's well worth a watch. I saw this once in a day on DVD, on TV, and I had to find it, and I did find it. I do believe it might not be available on DVD or Blu-ray. If it is, give it a watch and buy it. It might be available on YouTube to give it a watch, but it's well worth watching. I've watched this more than once, and I've got to admit, every time I watch it, it's good. It is a good watch. And I don't think he's in a lot of other films apart from Star Trek. When Walter Kroner, or whatever his name is. But yeah, really good film. Now I've only got 4 hard ones, but I still got a good list to go. Now, again, I did have, some of these films I'm talking about, I did have hard copies for over the years. Sadly, either gone, given away, or sold off over the years. Now, next film, how many of you have seen this, is the Philadelphia Experiment. Now, cool. Who's talking about me? Got itchy nose. Done in 1984. Basic bit about a time, bit of a time jump. Done by Stuart. No. That's the one where the ship disappears and comes into the future, then goes back. But I mean, 2 people gets off the boat, so it's not the final countdown. And Stuart, no. Well, I can't say his name anyway. God, I've got his nose now. And again, it's well worth. The thing is, they reckon now this one is one of the conspiracy theories. No word I can't say properly. I do believe this ship was invented in the Second World War, and this actually happened. Who knows? We were trying things back in the Second World War. Tron, yep, that is another good film. Now, I've not got that on my list. God, I'm getting itchy nose. So yeah, it is well worth watching. They did say they're going to do a second one at some point. Never did to my knowledge. I'm probably glad they didn't. Now, for some reason, I've lost this one. Now, I would class this one, the one with it, Mr. B, one with the aircraft carrier was Final Countdown. That was, yeah, the aircraft carrier goes back to the past to 1940 for one, I think it's 5 days before Pearl Harbor gets attacked. Does make you wonder if they had stayed and they took him out, what the timeline would be like, and then disappeared back to the future. If they did, I don't reckon they would still be around. Because, But yeah, the Final Countdown is a really good one. Now, what's another one on my list? Oh yeah, one I was talking. Yeah, I didn't get finished it. Night of the Comet. Now, came out in 1984. Now, the director is from Unhard. That's it. That's it, Pelps. That's what happened to the Philadelphia Experiment. And yeah, when they went on board, and yeah, the Final Countdown is still a good film to watch, even now. It is not bad. So some of these 80s films still hold up to this day, and some sadly don't. So Night of the Comet, done in '84. Basically, I think something happens and kills off most of the human race. It does, and the only ones that are left is these ones in a underground bunker, who for some brains have left the air vent open to the outside, and they're taking anybody that was still alive from the service. Because if you was in like you trapped behind iron or something, I can't remember what it was, you didn't you stayed alive. And it was also like some little zombies as well. But yeah, Night of the Comet is a really good film to watch. I would class it as a sci-fi / horror. I don't know what happened to my Blu-ray. Again, I probably have got it in there, or I may have sold it not that long ago. Who knows? So yeah. Now, next one on the list, I've actually going to it right here. Now, I don't know how many have seen this film, and that is Zone Troopers. 1985 it came out, had two directors, Danny Bison and Paul DeMuck. So yeah. So yeah, again, the storyline is it's Second World War. Two ships crashed. No, one ship crashed in Europe, and basically they start killing people. And yeah, it is well worth a watch, and it cost me £2 back in the day. So yeah, if you've not seen Zone Troopers, give it a watch. It is not a lot of people know about this film, but it is a good film to watch. I mean, look at that poster. Basically, I want you, to join. So yeah, it's a good film. Let me see. Yeah, basically, they find the spaceship and they learn. But yeah, worth it to watch it. Let me know in the comments if you've ever seen Zone Troopers. If you have, what did you think of it? So it is a really good film. So yeah. Alright, I've only got 3 left on the hard ones. I've still got a couple. Oh, I found my science project now. See, I told you I had it written down. It was 85. Yeah, I did have that right. Done by director Jonathan R. Beveridge. Oh, you dead? You never heard of it? Alright. It's a good little film to watch, Des. This is why I'm pretty certain I've seen more films than Adam. Because I've watched quite rare stuff. So yeah, give it a watch. You may find, I don't know if it's available on YouTube. A lot of his old films are available on YouTube. And I don't know if that's available on DVD or Blu-ray. This is why a lot of these I've kept, because they're not available anywhere else. So, no, we ain't got many left actually. Now, another film is, I don't know how many, I got this on video somewhere. I'm annoyed, I don't know where it is. It's called Mating Contact. 1985. It's about a puppet. If I remember rightly. Or am I thinking of the wrong one? I could be thinking of the wrong one here. But yeah, yeah, I said about making contact, because I don't think it is a fantasy job or sci-fi. I'm sure that's horror. Anyway, let's talk about this one, shall we? Striker. Now, Striker came out in '87. Now, Esmo G. Caswell was the director. Like normal, I butcher any names, don't I? I basically, again, it's after the nuclear war, and people are still fighting. Like I said, the 80s were full of nuclear war films, the aftermath of what has happened after they pressed the button. So yeah, I mean, and quite a lot of these nuclear war films have disappeared off the shelves. You got DEFCON 4. Quite a boring film, actually, DEFCON 4 is. I thought so anyway. And there's so many others that I don't even think got released on video. Got released on DVD or home video or Blu-ray. And I remember going in the rental shops back in the day, and there were so many nuclear war films done because it was semi-cheap to make them, I believe. So yeah, starring Steve Saffron. It probably was filmed in Italy. So it probably was a Italy cast, straight to the US market. And yeah, I mean, it's not a bad film to watch. It ain't. Now, I'm going to go back to the list. Now, how many remember Space Camp? Now, proper kids film. Some people hate it. The robot is the most interesting, boring robot you can get, if I remember rightly. I've not seen it for quite some years now, Space Camp. Probably a good 5 years, maybe longer, since I last saw Space Camp. Came out in 1986. Director was Harry Weiner. I think that's how you say his surname. Winer or Weiner. Yeah, it's about some. Apparently, they do Space Camp in America. I'm glad that we didn't do camps. Oh, you never saw it, Mr. B? Give it a watch. You might enjoy it. I'd say you had seen it, Pouts, but not since it first came out. Yeah. All Star Man, very good film. And yeah, I mean, about some kids, they go to the space program. So this is why I'm pretty certain the space shuttle was out, because they got that wrong. Because I know in Space Camp they go into the shuttle, don't they? If I remember rightly, they basically go. The robot decides to send them out to space, and they got to somehow get back to Earth. So it's really good. Now, somebody just brought up 2 films. Now, Starman, Beam, and Adore. I'm sorry to say it, but I will always butcher a lot of names, and then me, I butcher names, and I don't mean any of it. Starman, I believe, been remade twice. I can't tell you, it's not one I've got on my list, but it is a really good film. And I do believe he made twice. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, actually, it may have been done 3 times actually since the original. You got the original black and white one. Then you got the 80s version, and then I think you got the 2000 something version. And I'm not sure which one. I've seen each one. I'm not sure which one I like the best. Now, Mr. B, you brought up Enemy Mine. Now, I used to have that on video, but I don't know more for some reason. If I have, it's hiding somewhere. Might be my chest. I've got a treasure chest in my cupboard. I mean, you remember renting out a lot of these movies. That's good. I'm bringing you memories then. Now, Enemy Mine, I remember watching that back in the day. I don't believe I went to the cinema. So I believe it's one of them films that went straight to home video. It may have done cinema, but I can't quite remember. Spaceballs, brilliant. I've not actually got that on my list. Technically, Airplane 2 probably don't, but I know what you're saying. Because technically, it is in space. And Enemy Mines was quite boring, I thought, back in this day. Boring? Not boring. No. It was interesting, but again, it was a copy of a Second World War film that was done. I can't think of the name of it. Somebody was talking about it, I think 6 months ago, of the American film. Yeah, it was slow, Mr. B. And apparently they're remaking it. And let's hope it's not as slow as the original was. But I can't remember what war film it was a remake of. I don't. So, right, bear with me. I just want to see what other film was just brought up a moment ago. Spaceballs. Yep. Thank you very much. Spaceballs. Spoof of Star, not Wars. So yeah, I mean, Spaceballs was really good. And like you know, they literally are now, after 40 something years, they actually are doing Spaceballs number 2. It was take the piss out, wasn't it? You got to admit, it was take the Mickey out of Star Wars. The whole thing was. I mean, and Spaceballs was so funny. I don't think there's virtually no merchandise for it. Because, if I remember rightly, the director in it, even though they showed all this merchandise in the film, so that's why how much they were taking the Mickey out of Wars, they put a clause in that there won't be no merchandise. And I don't think there's a lot of merchandise for it at all now. I do believe there's some custom figures done in 3D prints of the crew. But otherwise, I don't think there's a lot of. Maybe some Neko figures. But otherwise, I don't think there's virtually no merchandise for Spaceballs whatsoever. I'm not sure what year Spaceballs was done. Might be, I would say, 84, 85. But, is it worth a watch now? Yes. Is it funny as it was back in the day? Yes. Cat's in, by the way. So yeah, I mean, it was a good film. Now I don't remember who directed Spaceballs, but I do believe the same director did Blazing Saddles, that nearly never got onto the cinema or home rental because they thought the whole thing wasn't that funny, the people with the money counters. But Joe Public showed them wrong. So yeah. Now, Airplane 2. Now, that's funny as well. But what do you think Airplane 2 was really more of a, a rip-off of the same one, of Airplane? Hello, Faith. Now, we'll get on to one that George just put Escape from New York. Now, Kurt Russell, if I remember, stars into it. I can't tell you what year, because that's not on my list. I haven't actually got many lists on. I think I've got one film left on my list down there and one left here. I believe Escape from New York is around about 83, 84, I believe it came out of. They've done two. That one was Escape from Los Angeles. They're both quite good films. Now, I'm pretty certain Kurt Russell does star in it. I am. I'm sure it's Kurt Russell. I am. Now, obviously, Kurt Russell was also in Inner Space. I'm pretty certain it was him in Inner Space, not Patrick Swayze. And yeah, I'm sure it's Kurt Russell. Let me know in the comments if it was Kurt Russell who starred in Escape from New York and Escape from LA. Now, Escape from LA was not as great as Escape from New York. Like we all know, a lot of the time the second films are never that great as the first. But it was still a good watch, and I have seen it again since. Cool. It was Kurt Russell. And was I right, Kurt Russell in Inner Space as well? So yeah. Now, I'm going to go to another one on my list that I've not got any hardware to show you. A lot of you may have never seen it. Buckaroo Banzai. Dennis Quaid, thank you. Alright. So, see, I got that one, didn't I? That's slimmer, don't they? Yeah, Buckaroo Banzai. I tried watching it about 4 months ago. There is a favourite on YouTube. Yeah, it's not a. It was a good film back in the day. Very quirky, very interesting. Oh, you've seen it, Palps? When was the last time you saw it, Palps? Because I tried watching it literally about 6 months ago, and I found it. It could be also kind of changed. I found it. Yeah. Don't know how I found it, to tell the truth. But I do remember I used to enjoy it. So somewhere along the line, I think I wasn't in the mood to watch it on when I was trying to watch it. So like if you're not in the mood to watch something, you end up turning it off. So it was very confusing film as well, if I remember rightly. Buckaroo Banzai was. Oh, you saw it about 6 months ago as well, Pelts. YouTube by any chance? I know it's where I try to see it, and it is very quirky, isn't it? Buckaroo, very quirky. But yeah, so yeah, right. I've got nothing left on my list down here. I've got this one here now, hardware. Now I remember this came on cinema. I got a feeling it also flopped on cinema. Now, again, this should have been written down, but it wasn't. Because this was meant to be on my paperwork that I was meant to get printed out. And for some reason, it didn't get printed out. Whoops, sorry. my writing has stopped. That's why it's on my finger. I won't, you know. So yeah, hardware. I mean, basically, guy goes out to a junkyard. I believe this junkyard is in some higher, like in an area that you should not be going into. It's cordoned off. I think it's all like technology that's been scrapped. He finds this robot skull that these robots or sentries have been dismantled, basically some war. Bit like if you've seen Marvel, you know, you think of Iron Man with the Centurions, sort of like that sort of type of robot, but wasn't. And he finds a skull for it. I don't know if it was a British film or not, but it may have been. And I did have it all written down. That was on the paperwork I couldn't get printed out. Quite annoying that all the emails failed yesterday. And I weren't paying £3.50 for one page. It was quite annoying. And does this say when it came out? Well, apparently it came on home video in 1992. 1992? Yeah. But on my list, it came up in the late 80s. So it might be 89. So I'm not sure if this is a 80s film or a 90s. But I'm pretty certain, tell you the truth, this is more of a 90s film. But then I used to sneak into 18 films when I was under 18 anyway. So I don't know. I think it probably was 89 or 92. Because I was sneaking into the cinema. I was. So yeah, that's that one. Now, I've got one last film to talk about now. If this came in 1 and 2, Big Trouble in Little China. That is a cracking good film. Now, that is Kurt Russell, if I remember rightly. Is Hardware any good? Seen it twice, cinema and home rental. Honest opinion? Honest opinion? No. That's my honest opinion. I've seen it twice. But if you're bored and you can find it for free, maybe give it a watch because we're all different. You may find it's really good and you might even enjoy this film and you'll be like, oh, that's really good. But yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can see it on the picture. It paints the United States flag on the skull. You see it? I know the glaze, you know. So yeah. I mean, basically, oh, there we are. This was a 90s film, actually. It says Terminator for the 90s. So, they got that wrong. This was not an 80s film. So, I was wrong. It even say it in the directors. So, yeah. Now, this one. Now, I don't know if you can class this as sci-fi or fantasy, but I think it's more fantasy. But I thought I'd do an honour one because this is a cracking film and it's not been released on DVD or video yet. There is knockoffs on Blu-rays and DVDs, and I can't say the word. I don't know if any of you've seen this. G-O-R. Cracking of sci-fi / fantasy. I would class it more of a fancier word. I mean, it even says in fantasy. So yeah, you know, I've run out of ones. So yeah, it's more of a fantasy film. It is a really interesting film. it's Earth. Some guy from now, well, ain't now, it was back in the 80s, gets sent back to another world and through another dimension to planet Gore, and he joins a rebellion against Obvious Reed. So yeah, it's if you've not seen it, so it's available on so it's available in Germany on Blu-ray. Oh right. Oh, it's good. It's available on Blu-ray though. That's good. And you get Gore 2 for the extras, so that's good. So what did you think of it? So I quite like this film. One point this video was selling for 80 quid. I don't know how much it's worth now. Probably not 80 quid. Probably a fraction of that. But that is it on my list. I've got nothing else because for near enough 2 hours I've done all the films I've written down. No, I've missed one film. Oh, you loved it as well? Yeah, I've missed one film. It's even on my picture. Bear with me. Pepsi, you need to sponsor me, mate. How many times have you and that is RoboCop. I mean, I'll bring that one up in a minute. So that's a cracking good film as well. You just mentioned RoboCop. I remember back in the day when it came out, done in 1987. Paul Fanard, I'm butchering the director's name. Pardon me. What 2 hours talking non-stop does to you. And yeah, I mean, it's a cracking good film. RoboCop is. Now, RoboCop is the best one out of the 3 and the remake. Because I don't know if any of you know the storyline or reason why 2 and 3 go down in quality. Because that blooming White House got involved again. And that is the reason why RoboCop wasn't so violent in 2 and 3. It got toned down so much. Apparently in the first one, if I remember rightly, RoboCop was a 15 or PG rating. I'm not sure. And the first one, they should have done a different rating for it, if I remember rightly. I'm not too sure on that one. But yeah. Now, somebody brought up a moment ago. What was the film you just brought up a moment ago? What was it? Biggles. Biggles. Cracking good film. Now, I believe that was straight to TV, Biggles was. And yeah, I would class that as fantasy. With a bit of a time tunnel, time jumps. Now, it was meant to be more than one, I believe. Because at the end of it, if you watch Biggles, they're basically sort of like saying there's meant to be a 2. Now, I've been in the Tower, not Tower London, I've been in Tower Bridge, right? Tower Bridge? Is it Tower Bridge where Biggles' office is? By Peter Cushing? Peter Cushing's got his office in there. Is it Tower Bridge? Sure it is. And I'll tell you right now, to my knowledge, there ain't no office in there. So that was definitely filmed off screen. Or is it an office that's out is part you can't get to? Don't know. So I've been in the Tower Bridge. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this chat about 80s films. I know for a fact there's so many 80s sci-fi films out there that we could talk for hours. I do mean talk for hours. And I've done a lot of films that was some films that people would never known, and some people that people would know. I mean, what was the best films out of the sci-fi ones did you really enjoy? I mean, it's too many for me. I think that's a problem even now. I think there's so many, quite hard to say which one's your best. So the idea of Mikhail doing a top 10 is a great idea. That may be a future figure, by the way. So thank you, Mikhail. No, you're not getting no rights for it. But you want to come with me and film it with me? Hey. So yeah, I mean, films are going back to watch. It's worth a watch. Is Critters. Really good. So yeah. Alien's definitely a really good film to go and watch. It's lovely and violent. A lot of guns getting off. And yeah, Last Starfighter. That's good. So yeah. But I think another one I really do enjoy, and it is, I call a rip-off from Manchester 7, is Battle Beyond the Stars. It got the guy from, what was he in? What was he in? I can't think of his name. The guy from Saffron Still, Mikhail, what's his name? You've just been watching him. I'm sure that's him in that. Pretty true, Des. It depends on, yeah, sometimes depends what you're feeling like, what mood you're in. I mean, that's the reason why I couldn't really watch Bonanza. I think I was not in the mood for that at that time. So, yeah. John Boy from the Waltons, yep. What was the other guy? One that was wearing black. He was in a British, in a British spy film. I don't think it wasn't the guy from Saffron Steel. Yeah. Oh, yeah, George Peppard. Oh, am I thinking of him then? Ah, yes. Thank you, Pelps. You booked it. Yes, it. No phone. Yeah, Solo. Yeah. Yeah. He's not been in a lot of other films. Now, Outdoor just brought up a film that I've not mentioned, and it wasn't on my list, and it is a sci-fi film, and it has only just came back out not long ago. Tron. Now, Tron is, I think it was a proper 80s film. It broke a lot of records, I believe. I don't think it broke money records. I believe it might have flopped. I do. But the home market, the graphics, I don't know what awards it won back in the day, but it was a really good film to watch. I mean, I've seen it more than once. Last time I saw it, gotta be at least 5 years, I would say. At least 5 years. I saw the newest one, didn't mind it. I think it wasn't quite true in the newest one and how they were advertising it, personally. But yeah, I mean, there is just so many sci-fi films that, you could talk. I mean, I had a list of probably at least 60 films here. Yeah, maybe not quite 60, probably more like 40, I'd say. So, yeah. The Thing, pretty good film. I'm pretty certain that's Kurt Russell in that one as well. I mean, Kurt Russell is one of these one of these actors you always saw in a lot of films. But yeah, right. I hope you enjoyed this little chat of sci-fi movies. I'm probably going to do another series next week. Another episode of this series, if I can work out and find it. And I might do 80s horrors. I will. I mean, so yeah. That's my idea. I'm going up to London on Friday. I am. Because I'm going to the Science Museum because for a limited time they've got Star Trek there. They have. And they've got doing special evenings on Thursdays. I just haven't got the money at the moment to do the Star Trek night. If I had, I would be going to them. But they've got they've got some of the props from Star Trek. So I'm going to be going, if I can, pretty soon I can film it. If I, fingers crossed, I'm filming it. So yeah. And I'm probably going to be doing a live stream on Friday, probably about 5-ish. Not too sure what time, but it'll be about 5 or 6, I think. So anyway, I'm going to go. At some point, this merch will be available to buy. This merchandise done by my brother. And you get my little face on and you get bigger than me on your back, but you can't really see it. So there. So anyway, I'll see you all later, and thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all again soon. If I don't see you before, I'll see you on another live stream. Anyway, later all, thank you very much for coming, and been great chatting with you. And Last Starfight is a cracking good film. Right, later all. Bye. And don't forget, I'm probably doing a 80s ones for horror next week. Right, later all. Bye.